agriculture. We are still convinced with strong collaboration and multitasking, the sector could still sail through successfully. And as a team leader, I'm ready to take that route.
The routes project is jointly funded by government, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, the French Development Agency, the OPEC Fund for International Development, and the Global Environment Facility.
Of this $80 million, IFAD, as the lead donor, is providing grant financing of $17.016 million US. That is 21.3% of the project cost, as well as $4.25 million US as a loan. That is only 5.3% of the project cost. Other financing partners for the routes projects are the AFD, Agency Francais for Development, with a grant of $11.2 million US, that is 14% of the total project cost. OPEC Fund for International Development with a $10 million US loan equivalent to 12.5% of the project cost, and the Global Environment Facility JEP with a $5.3 million US grant, that is 6.6% of the project cost.
According to officials, the project has three main components: targeting rice and vegetable production in 5 regions across the country. This intervention, according to the representative of the UNDP resident coordinator and the IFAD country representative, will significantly reduce poverty and unemployment, especially among women and the youth.
The creation of the roots project is a clear recognition that policies for effective consolidation of the achievement of the NEMA and previous IFAD projects need strong institutions to ensure their implementation, and that the key aspects of unlocking potential of modern value chain to drive progress on SDGs 1 and 2 is de-risking investment in the rural areas.
The project will focus on upscaling NEMA achievement in the rice and vegetable value chain, and will give special attention to key issues such as the targeting strategy to reach poor farmers, deepening partnership opportunities, project management, performance and oversight for effective and efficient delivery mechanism.
The project is the culmination of extensive collaboration between the Ministries of Agriculture and Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. This collaboration, according to Minister Lamin Diba, will preserve natural environment and reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
The project will invest in ecosystem preservation activities such as rehabilitation of 1,300 hectares of mangroves and 1,400 hectares of community forest. This is in line with the bold challenge that the Gambia should restore over 400,000 hectares of both terrestrial and mangrove ecosystems.
The Minister of Agriculture, Ami Fabure, thanked President Barrow for the leadership and political will that has culminated in the launching of this 6-year project. She expressed hope that the project will positively impact on the agricultural sector in the Gambia by benefiting over 300,000 people, 80% of whom are women.
The overarching goals of the Roots project is to improve food security, nutrition, smallholder farmers resilient to climate change in the Gambia. The project development objectives is to increase agricultural productivity and access to markets for enhanced food security and nutrition.
The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, acknowledged agriculture as the backbone of the economy, adding that his government is committed to supporting its development. The Gambian leader therefore challenged women and the youth to take advantage of the project to improve their lives and livelihoods.
I challenge and encourage all hard-working and vibrant women and youth farmers to take full advantage of the opportunities offered by the Roots project as a life-changing vehicle to upgrade their economic status. Aside from the women, the youth of the country have a central role to play in national development. I believe strongly that they hold the key to the future. With their active participation, the national target sets for agricultural growth and our overall development goals have a greater chance of success within their timelines.
With these words, President Barrow officially launched the Roots Project, which is expected to build on the successes of the NEMA project, which has significantly improved horticultural production in the country. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS.
Still on the presidency, several ambassadors designated to the Gambia today presented their letters of credence to the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, at State House. Ambassadors of India, Venezuela, Guinea and Holland and all extended their areas of cooperation with the Gambia. Ibrahim Ajala reports.
It was an evening of active diplomatic engagements at the State House. Four ambassadors designated to the Gambia presented their letters of credence to the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow. Her Excellency Aminata Kobele Keita, ambassador designate of Guinea-Conakry, led the presentation highlighting long-standing relations between Banjul and Conakry. She was followed by Mrs. Joan Wegman, ambassador designate of the Netherlands. Ambassador Wegman said her country will cooperate with the Gambia in areas of human rights and the rule of law, amongst others.
The Gambia and the Netherlands cooperate on strengthening human rights and the rule of law. The Gambia has gone through difficult times and has entered a new era. With our dedicated Human Rights Fund, we support, amongst others, efforts of Gambian civil society to further promote the rights of women, young people and vulnerable groups. We look forward to continuing our cooperation with the government of the Gambia in this area. The Netherlands has pledged support to the Gambia in the case it has brought before the UN's International Court of Justice in The Hague regarding the crime of genocide.
The ambassadors of India and Venezuela respectively presented their papers citing cooperation between their countries and the Gambia based on mutual development and respect.
Capacity building, as you rightly pointed out, is one of the main areas of collaboration between us. Development partnership projects for the benefit of the people or others. One example being in the month of November, your President had inaugurated that electricity expansion in the Greater Banjul area, bringing electricity to the people. These are the kind of projects which really make us very, very happy to be part of, to be partner of the Gambia.
We have an history of relations since 1974, and we are here to reinforce that connection. Our potential development, mutual potential development is at the stage, specifically in this area, and this time with so many economical and health crises around. As a countries of the South, we share the same burden. We need to work together to develop our countries. We have the resources, oil, fishery, forestry, everything is there in our both countries.
The diplomats left the presidency later in the evening, marking the official start of their function in the country. Ibrahim Ajalo, GRTS News.
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare has observed the International Day of Zero Tolerance on FGM. The commemoration held at the Sardauda Conference Center in Bijolo was graced by stakeholders and representatives from various sectors. Aminata Isanyang has more on this report.
Usually commemorated every February 6th, the International Day of Zero Tolerance for FGM is a day set aside to remember FGM victims and advocate widely against the practice. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare and its partners UNFPA and UNICEF joins the rest of the world to commemorate the day. Graced by the Vice President Dr. Aissatou Touré, as well as religious leaders and women organizations, the space was utilized to share very strong messages against the practice. In her remarks, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Fatou Kinte Sanyang, called on all and sundry to venture in the fight.
Through the work of the joint program and government of the Gambia and the NGOs, over 1,000 communities have made public declarations abandoning the practice. The year 2015 to date witnessed an increase in the number of NGOs, more especially those of young people in the campaign. The use of convinced Islamic religious leaders and scholars added impetus to the campaign. The 2015 legislation against FGM is an indication of government putting into practice the commitment it made by signing and ratifying CEDAW, the CRC, and other regional protocols to protect the rights, welfare,
health and reproductive health rights of women and girls.
The chairperson of the National Women Council, D. Sawane, said the fight to eradicate FGM requires a collective effort.
Enough talking, start acting to utilize and exercise the law and the policies that have been put in place by the government of the Gambia and its relevant partners for the total eradication of FGM. A silent law is a useless law. For how many years this law says FGM is a crime, and yet still no one, barely no one has been prosecuted. What are we doing?
UNICEF and UNFPA have been playing a significant role in this journey. Both organizations have invested resources against the fight.
The beginning of 2020 has been very challenging, and we know that COVID was a pandemic that affected us on all fronts. But studies have shown that we might have about 2 million additional cases of FGM globally, and it may occur within the next decade because schools were shut. Parents have girls at home. There's an opportunity for early marriage. There's a chance for that very, very zealous auntie who believes that this practice must continue, even if it's not the mother of the child, to come and get the girl and take her to be cut. This is what we must stop.
As we mark the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, we celebrate renewed hope and resolve to build on our achievements to end this practice once and for all. Our collective hope lies on the criminalization in 2016 of FGM, a decision that underscores the Gambia's commitment to its obligation under the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child and the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, as well as the UN General Assembly resolution for the complete elimination of female genital mutilation and cutting, which the country approved back in 2012.
Being a veteran in the fight against FGM, the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, renewed her commitment to the struggle to eradicate FGM, and she as well highlighted the significant role that government is playing.
In the Gambia, a lot has been done to end female genital mutilation and other harmful practices. Years of sustained advocacy by NGOs and COSs in partnership with government and our development partners has yielded dividends. FGM and other harmful practices are prohibited by law. The government has passed laws and policies that promote and protect the rights of women and children in the Gambia.
There was a highlight of spoken word performance by a young gender advocate.
When I saw on the news a woman who lost her life while giving birth because she was genitally mutilated, that was the end for me because my heart was in pieces.
Stakeholders hope that everyone ventures in the struggle to end the practice. This, they believed, will yield a bigger result. Aminata Isanyang, GRTS.
Now, Gambians woke up to this morning another internet blackout, the second such in a week, causing disruption to businesses and other activities. While the Submarine Cable Company Ltd has issued a press release to explain the cause of the problem, and it reads: the ACE cable link connecting the Gambia to the outside world is down for reasons of a shunt fault and a cable cut at sea level. This has been impacting on other internet services in the country. The GSC and ACE Cable Consortium has since mobilized a repair ship to repair the damaged part of the cable at the sea. The initial expectation was for the repairs and the traffic restoration measures to be complete by the 10th of February 2021. Unfortunately, the country's terrestrial traffic on the part of Senegal went down in the early part of the 9th of February 2021, further impacting on the repair works at sea, causing the disconnection of the communication link between GSC Network Operation Center and the repair ship. Both GAMTEL and the GSC are addressing the issue through other means for restoring the GAMTEL link to Senegal within hours and for the repair measures at the sea level to continue. The GSC, as an effective member of the ACE consortium, has no financial issues with ACE that relates to or has any bearing on the current network disconnection. We apologize for the inconvenience caused. The release concludes. Well, the Honorable Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, earlier joined us on our studios to discuss more on the issue. Gambians woke up to the news of the second blackout of internet in a week. We have heard the press release from the Gambia Submarine Cable Limited. Now, why is this becoming an occurring theme for the Gambia?
Well, let me say that, yes, indeed, the past 40 days have seen some severe disruption to internet connectivity, especially regarding the submarine cable, which actually connects the Gambia to of the world. It actually had 3 stunt cuts in the last 40 days. As a result, being the only traffic link between the Gambia and the rest of the world, actually, when it was down, everybody would feel it. And this was the case in all the 3 occasions. And unfortunately, anytime the ACE or the Africa Coast to Europe submarine cable is down, which is normally as a result of cuts, by the ocean-going vessels, or fishing trawlers. We use our cross-country cable with Senegal to use it as a backup. Unfortunately, on the 3 occasions that we are talking about, the country experienced some difficulties on this particular cable. As a result, rather than people not feeling or being aware of the cuts on the submarine cable at sea, people became aware because the backbone that we should use, to ride on, also experienced severe difficulties. So as a result, this actually affected connectivity and also voice, because when your ACE cable is down and you are riding on the backbone, as a backup, so what happens is that when that actually has a problem, then it affects both the data and the voice. This is the Sonatel backup link, from Senegal through Karang, Banjul, then to the border in Siliti, and then to Casamas.
Okay. Now, as we speak, the connection is restored, but yes, what is the general situation? Are we talking about a complete diagnosis of the problem, and is the repaired work completed?
Yes, the repaired work, actually was completed in the last 1 hour. The repair work on the submarine cable.
Okay.
The backbone that, the backup that we actually were hoping to use actually did not come, the Sonatel one. So fortunately for us, while we were making an alternative routing, on the Sonatel, cable, the ACE submarine, cable came on because the divers and the workers there actually completed the work. So now, the permanent solution, of course, would be for the Gambia to have a second landing cable, landing site actually, and then also to have alternative backups, rather than depending on the Sonatel one alone, and this will also include the satellite.
Okay.
We are exploring that as a very urgent alternative. We have already tasked the GSM operators and GAMTEL, GAMCEL, and the ACE consortium, to work on this. And by Friday, they should submit a report to me, to actually work on an alternative as an urgent, alternative to what we have right now, because this is the only solution actually. It is difficult, yes, and it's expensive. But I think, knowing that now almost everybody depends on IT services, and also the over-dependence of the population on internet services require that we actually, respond with like manner the need to provide a second landing site and also other alternatives to make sure that even when we have a problem, the connection issues will, the difficulties of connection will not be noticed by the population.
Okay.
So, the third option, of course, would be to look at other cheaper alternatives that will help us have, dependency, non-dependency issues with, some of these, problems that that we have. Both solutions may not be that immediate. Because they will require us to ensure that we put the necessary investment to have the second landing cable, and if we are to go by satellite, we also have to invest in that. But the third option, which actually is also a good one, and we are looking at that, is that currently in Senegal you have multiple service providers. And the good thing is that from the KRIF end to also Senova, we have almost finalized laying the cables so that we can take our pipes all the way to the border and then connect with those service providers, both at KRIF and also at Senova. And then we are also revitalizing the Basse-Welengara link so that we can also have the pipe there. So all this, what this will do is that in case our traditional bilateral partner Sonatel has problems, our national ring will be kick-started in a way that we can link up with any of those alternative service providers, and then it is only the technicians who will feel it in the studios where they are working, and then the customers will not feel the downtime.
Okay.
So those things are there, and hopefully by end of next week, the work on the Senova KRIF corridor will be completed, and then we will start the necessary discussions with the partners to see who will be most interested to have that as alternative backup. So those things are there. We also want to take this opportunity to apologize to every Gambian, particularly, the business community, who actually have lost so much, through this, blackouts, and also the entire internet users that depend on the services to communicate with the rest of the world, to keep up with their families outside of the Gambia, but also within the Gambia, but also, service providers like the GRTS and also other media houses who also use internet services to reach out to the citizenry and the rest of the population.
Thank you very much for your time, Honorable Minister of Information and Communications Infrastructure. Moving on, the Independent Electoral Commission has engaged the National Assembly Select Committee on Local Government and Lands, the Ombudsman, and the IEC. The meeting discussed the proposed increment on the budget allocation to the Electoral Commission in order to meet the estimated expenditure for the upcoming voter registration and other related issues. Here's an excerpt from the meeting by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mamburin Njai, but first let's hear from Yakuma Jaite in this excerpt.
We invited both the IEC, the FPA committee, and the ministry to see what is the best way moving forward. The ministry said they are going to look into this and probably find a way, come up with a solution on what we can do to make sure at least IEC has sufficient amount of money in their budget to at least pay for this contract of voter registration if it is awarded.
The budget that has been submitted is a little bit on the low side. So the purpose of this meeting was to brainstorm as to whether we go for environment or we go for SAP, and that was the bone of contention. So now what we are doing is to go back, do our homework, and come and then submit it. We will have to consult IEC. But the bottom line, and my whole argument is, every 5 years we have elections. Whatever we are requesting, are they telling me that the Gambian companies cannot do it? Even if a Gambian company cannot do it, Gambian company can partner with an international company and build capacity. That's my whole, and it hurts. This is taxpayers' money. Gambians are paying their taxes. And if we, anytime we take the money, we ship it outside, those companies coming, they are commercial. They will never hand over that technology to our own guys. So how do we build capacity? So I am insisting that really we go further to, in fact, legislate the local content. We are going further, but we have to have a test case, and that I said we will not compromise quality. Our preference is Gambian companies. If Gambian companies cannot do it, they can partner with international company, and we will insist on the technology and knowledge transfer to the local company. This is the only way we will boost our own companies to make sure they'll be able to compete internationally.
Meanwhile, here's a press release from the IEC which states it has come to the notice of the Independent Electoral Commission that a group of individuals, referring to itself as Operation No Illegal Voting, is illegally conducting voter sensitization in Upper River Region and the West Coast Region. This group of impersonating as operating under the authority of the IEC, they wear T-shirts bearing the IEC logo, and are purportedly engaging with chiefs and alcalos, warning them on electoral matters. This group is urged to desist from such actions immediately, failure of which legal action will be taken against. Impersonation is illegal, and the Commission will not tolerate such. While the Commission recognizes the role of civil society organizations, their activity must be within the confines of the laws of the Gambia. The Independent Electoral Commission is mandated to conduct voter education pursuant to Section 134, subsection A of the Elections Amendment Act 2015. However, it sometimes collaborates with stakeholders in the fulfillment of this mandate. The release concludes. Officials of the General Transport Union, formerly the Gambia National Transport Union, is embarking on a 5-day countrywide tour to meet stakeholders in the road transport subsector. The tour is meant to garner first-hand information from the road operators with a view to map out recommendations for improved and sustainable road transport systems. Samuel Ba is with the delegation and sent in this report on the first meeting in Barra, North Bank region.
The Barra meeting is the beginning of a week-long tour organized by officials of the General Transport Union, formerly Gambia Transport Union. The aim is to dialogue with stakeholders in the transport subsector such as traffic police, area councils, drivers and their apprentices, and even local authorities to better understand the transport challenges.
Fundamentally, just to hear their concerns. I think we hear most of the concerns here, but we advise them what we can do it together. I think some of them, after this meeting, most of them will benefit what used to happen by the police, the drivers, even the road users. So I think most of people learn much important issues here. So I think if they implement it, we see a positive impact.
The role of the union is to control and manage transport services, which is perhaps becoming a major challenge with the rising number of road traffic accidents.
The most important message is road safety, message, because we all know the road transport is alarming in this country. So as of now, we need to come together as a team to see how to minimize it. And number two, how to promote the free movement. Because Barra here, we see the garage is a little bit small, but the nature of the operation or the management is a little bit lack. We advise to sit as a team to discuss, to collaborate with the police to see how to enforce the free movement. And number three, the importance of the insurance, because we see accidents happen, lives are involved, people are injured, but insurance are not compensating people. For them, because we show them in direction so that we can assist them, so that those victims can get something at the end of the day.
The community engagements in Barra, our first port of call, generated a lot of reactions as people shared their thoughts on what they believe could give birth to a sustainable transport subsector.
The concerns we have here, in the first place, the gas is tight up. There is congestion. We have a lot of vehicles in the car park. So whenever the ferry lands or whenever the ferry anchors, when passengers alight from the ferry, it's always difficult to get out of the car park due to the fact that it's congested, it's just so congested. And secondly, drivers, if you come with your vehicle number is registered, then if another person comes, that vehicle number is registered. So it's first come, first serve. Now you will see those who have just spent the night here, waiting for their turn. Okay, you will see somebody who just arrived and then start to pick some passengers and go. That's what You are loading wisely, it's not your turn.
What then is the position of the union in addressing some of these challenges that this community and others have been faced with? Malik Mbuk is the union secretary general.
The number of accidents in this country, it's not only caused by drivers but also road users, mostly pedestrians. Everybody should know the codes on the road. You should know where the zebra crossing is, where should I cross, where should I not cross. Now we go back and write our report to the stakeholders. Our transport is a stakeholder issue. So we are going back to the stakeholders and relay the concerns of the road users and the drivers to them so that we can have an amicable solution.
The consultative engagement in Bara ended on a high note, with the various stakeholders pledging greater commitment to minimize road traffic accidents and advance the transport subsector. The talk continues. Samuel Ba reporting from Bara, North Bank region.
More witnesses continue to testify before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. The latest to testify is Fode Barry, a one-time head of the investigative unit at the then National Intelligence Agency, NIA. As Janketure reports, the witness, who was repeatedly mentioned by various witnesses, denied being part of torture as alleged by victims who appeared before the commission.
Fode Barry has appeared before members of the Truth Commission. Born in 1957, the witness is the former officer in command of investigations at the NIA and rose to different ranks in the security services before his arrest and dismissal in 2012. The witness is testifying on different consecutive scenarios where his name was adversely mentioned by witnesses who went through human rights violations during the Jammeh era. These allegations were strongly denied by Barry, who was accused of being a torturer.
But Samba Jallo said yourself and Daba Marena went to his house together with other officers and arrested him late at night. And he was beaten during the process of his arrest by Yogo. Is Bachsamba Jallo lying? That's not correct.
The witness was also asked to shed light on the November 1996 attack where a group of Liberian rebels attacked Farafenye military camp. Mbalo Kante, who was arrested and taken to the NIA for interrogation, testified that he was stripped naked and tortured by Barry. These allegations were denied by the witness.
He said in the evening, because I did not say anything, they planned to release me. Yaya Drame was later brought in, and he revealed everything about me. They tied my hands and legs, burnt plastic on my body. They told me after their beating, I would not be able to function as a man again. I responded, only God can decide that. They continued beating me. Is all this false? These are all sweet talks of Balo Kante.
The NIA was said to be the torture center where many passed through to make confessions. The day-long session went by with the witness denying the said allegations. He also denied ever working with one Salmina Drame, who during his testimony mentioned his name.
You have denied the accusations of all these people, including the accusation by your colleague Salmina Drame that you and him participated in these things, in these tortures.
According to records, the witness was later moved from the NIA to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and many testimonies reveal that Fode Barry was also involved in the illegal detention of suspects at the Holgam, allegations he accepted as true, which the lead counsel